Where do the Houston Texans sit in relation to the rest of the league post week one? Let's get into the post week one wrap up in the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock.
Where the Texans sit in relation to the rest of the league and the most relevant stuff that happened around the league in week one of the NFL season. Going to do this after every Monday night football game. Once it concludes, once the week concludes, we'll localize it. We'll talk about what's going on with the Texans because it is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio and 610 and the Odyssey app. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Going to react to what DeMeco Ryans had to say today. Also going to talk about the relevant stuff that happened that impacts the Houston Texans, whether you're a Texans fan or not. Appreciate you for coming through. We just saw the Jets, and a lot of the Twitter doctors are saying that Aaron Rodgers has a torn Achilles, which immediately impacts the Houston Texans because the Texans take on the Jets, and if they're taking on Zach Wilson instead of Aaron Rodgers, many people would say that that is a little bit of a break. Also had the news today that Cam Hayward is going to likely miss the Texans game when that happens. We already anticipate that Pittsburgh might not be a very good team. By we, I'm saying me. I'm doing that thing where you say we, but it's really just your opinion. But that's where we're at right now with the Texans when it comes to the Jets and the Steelers. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans, and then we'll get into the stuff that happened in the NFL. Obviously, the Texans lose 25-9. Injury concerns with Jalen Petrie, George Fant. Let's hear what DeMeco Ryans had to say about it all, and let's react. Be sure to put your comments in, subscribe, like, right along. It is the wrap after every Monday night football game. Here's DeMeco Ryans.
With the injuries, I'll give you guys an update on Wednesday so we get further information on all our guys with tests and everything.
DeMeco, how concerned are you about the number of times Stroud was hit on Sunday, and what can you do to improve that situation going forward?
When it comes to the quarterback being hit, we don't want our quarterback hit as much as we were. We have to be better. I think overall, just as a group in protection, just how we're helping. I thought we had some really good snaps of protection at times, but it's just being more consistent in our protection and our pickups.
In terms of the running game, is the goal to either get more touches for Daniel going forward, or do you feel like that was a good ratio with the backs of the players?
Yeah, we'll see with the running game. We'll see. We can continue to improve our running game. I want to get as many touches as effective as we can be in the run game. We'll try to do that, and I think we can run it more. We'll try to run it more, and think we can be more effective at it. We can block it better, and you'll see that.
After Will Anderson got his first sack, he came up to the sidelines about I always thought you had pads on when you celebrated with him. How cool was it to see him get his first sack like that, and how much do you enjoy celebrating with the guys after they make a big play?
And for Will, and with him getting his first sack, it's no surprise to me because that's how he works every day at practice. He has a relentless motor in practice. Right? He's very deliberate in how he practices each day. And so when he makes plays in a game, like I was happy for him. His first game to get a sack, that was important. And I was happy for Will, and I'm happy for all of our players when we make plays. I know how hard it is to make a play in this league. So, yeah, I'm going to be fired up when our guys make plays.
You mentioned yesterday about just wanting things offensively to be cleaner. I'm just curious, when you guys met as a coaching staff together, what were some of the first things that you talked about, some of the things that you get home, not necessarily people say everything. What were some of the themes of your talk with the coaches?
I think from an offensive perspective, as you can see, like, we can move the ball. All right, Poston, I thought CJ did a really good job of, going through his progressions, putting the ball exactly where it needed to be.
Can they? He said they can move the ball. Do you feel that way? You feel like the Texans can move the ball on offense?
Did some really good things for us. And operationally, I think pre-snap, we can be better, just getting in and out of the huddle quicker, right, getting up to the line of scrimmage quicker. So, when we snap it and we play ball, CJ can play with the best of them. So we just have to help him and speed that process up.
Yeah, how do you do that? Does that come with the experience of being a rookie quarterback, or is that more people involved? Like, how do you?
It's a collective effort, right? It starts with coaches, players, everybody just being on the same page. Everybody is just operating with a better sense of urgency.
How long did you think it took yesterday for the offensive line to kind of figure out, find that comfortable place where they were making line calls and knew what they were seeing from that Ravens defense?
Yeah, we had a tough opponent, right? The Ravens, a lot of pressure, had some tough looks from that defense. Credit to those guys who did a really good job. And up front, we can be better. And like I said, there were a lot of snaps where we did have great protection, right? And I think it gets overlooked at times because of the miscues. But we did some really good things up front and a lot of things that we can build off of.
DeMeco, how much did playing against Lamar Jackson should it help your guys going against Anthony Richardson, especially as a runner?
I actually like this question from McLean. So we're going to talk to McLean at 11 tomorrow. I actually think this is actually an advantage for the Texans because you're facing Anthony Richardson. And we'll get more into this throughout the week. This is more so about like the big picture and hearing DeMeco and stuff on Monday after the games. But I think playing dual threat quarterbacks in consecutive weeks, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a head coach. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a defensive coordinator. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a defensive player. But I would think that the preparation, like let's say that the Texans were facing Lamar Jackson week 1, and then week 2 they had to prepare for, I don't know, name the stiffest quarterback that they're going to face. Someone who can't move very much. And then you were going to have to face Anthony Richardson. I think there's like a certain amount of preparation that goes into it where I actually think it's an advantage. I like this question by McLean.
It's always a challenge when you go against a running quarterback, and Lamar is definitely one of the top quarterbacks in this league. You talk about athleticism and being able to create with his legs. So I think our guys did a good job of just continuing to work, right? You never know when he's going to be down. You have to keep hunting, and that's what our guys did. And it'll be the same this week. Another quarterback who's athletic, he can run the ball. So we have another challenge, and that's the kind of theme of the league, and that's where I think the trend is going with more quarterbacks who are athletic and can run the ball. So we'll see a lot of that each week.
With the second fourth down call, you guys looked like you were maybe hurt.
All right, this is kind of the money quote of the week, and this is what we put in the title. DeMeco Ryans is about to let you know. And again, it may or may not be true, but DeMeco Ryans is about to let you know what kind of squad we can expect with the Texans, which may encourage you, may scare you. Brace yourself. Cody Stutes with the question.
Hurrying up, the official stops it, allows Baltimore to substitute, and decide to go ahead and still go for it. What went into the thinking there after maybe giving Baltimore an opportunity to swap some guys out, get a look at what you were doing? Is it still just, it is the reason we called the fourth down play, we still got to go get it?
Yeah, I was being aggressive with our team on fourth down, and I'll do those both decisions. I'll do it again.
Okay. Okay, Coach.
Yeah, Will is definitely a versatile rusher where we can move him around multiple places. He doesn't just have to align on the left side. We'll move him around left, right. If we have to put him over guards, wherever we feel like he can be an effective rusher and get after the quarterback, that's where we'll put him.
I know you all were piecing together the offensive line, and Josh Jones out of necessity had to move the right tackle. Did you like him at left guard, or is that something you still experimenting?
Yeah, with our offensive line, we've been shuffling guys a lot. As you guys know, we've had multiple injuries in the O-line, and we've had to shuffle guys. But in practice, our guys have moved around to multiple spots Right, guys play guard, play tackle. I thought Josh did a good job, man.
Hey, Dieter does not need to play right tackle, sir. I mean, I know you're gonna fall on the sword there. There's a reason that he didn't go back in after that one play where they gave up the strip sack. Dieter does not need to play right tackle, coach.
First time at guard. He hasn't been with us long, so being in a tough spot for him, he accepted the challenge and he went out and he played good ball for us. So I'm happy with what Josh was able to do for us on Sunday.
Today is 9/11. A lot of first responders are being remembered, and some are being honored today. Do you remember?
This is a where were you at 9/11?
You know how a lot of people risk their.
We'll skip that.
Yeah, Tavier did a good job for us. He plays the style of football I love.
Tavier Thomas, 3 targets, 3 catches, but only 9 yards. So he did a really good job in the slot. That's what he's talking about right now with Tavier Thomas. They obviously decided to get rid of Des King. Tavier Thomas, one of the top graded slot corners last year.
He plays with his hair on fire. He's fast. He's physical out there. So he did a really good job of forcing 2 fumbles. So, I mean, that's what we want to see. TT plays the style of ball that I like to see.
CJ, early on, it seemed like you guys ran a lot of east to west type of plays, short passes. Was that to mitigate the fact that you didn't have a shuffle line that you could settle in before you guys were pushing the ball down the field a little more?
With the play calls and how every play call is designed because we think it's a good play versus the scheme that we're going against. I think CJ, he's a young quarterback, but he can handle a lot, as you've seen in the games, the things we asked him to do. He can handle a lot. He's done a good job with what we've asked him to do.
There are a number of teams trialing a number of kickers just to get some stability at that position. How nice is it that you don't have to worry about that with Kaimi, and how much confidence you have in having it?
Talking about the confidence in fair specialists, and speaking of specialists and speaking of punters, I just got to say this, and this might just be a me thing. You guys might be able to relate. If you disagree, put it in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and like. We'll get back to DeMeco in a sec. I can't watch this punter anymore. I don't know what's up with this dude. For some reason, it looks like he took more time to get ready for the game than Kim Kardashian does to go out to like an event or something like that. He's got his like towel out there. He's got his all white cleats on. He's got his socks. He's jumping up like 8 feet in the air when he punts. I'm kind of over this punter. Maybe I'm overreacting. I've been known to do that. Let me know in the comments. This punter really annoyed me. I'm ready for Cam Johnson to be back. They worked out 2 punters today. Give me anyone but that guy. I can't watch him anymore.
It's very comforting having Emi. Emi has done a great job. He's been a consistent kicker in his league for a while, so we're very thankful and happy to have him. And the guy, when you roll out there, it's a guy you know you can count on. So that is very confident, and we're happy to have him.
You talked about the finish with Jonathan and you talked about the need for today.
I am hating on the punter. Don't tell me he didn't annoy you too, Alex.
I think the value of running backs is very significant for me. If you want to be a good offense, I still think you have to be able to run the ball, right? If you become one-dimensional one way or the other, right? I think having the good running backs just allows you to be, multi-dimensional when it comes to offense, and you can't just tee off knowing that it's pass, right? So having good backs in this league is definitely an advantage, and running backs are high value for me.
When you were here, and especially in 2011, this place could get pretty loud when you guys were on defense. What are some of the things that helped you all with, and what are you hoping for in that regard this Sunday?
Well, when it comes to, playing at home, you want it to be a true home field advantage. And I remember playing here, and when we were rolling in 2011, our defense was rolling. It was a credit to the fans and them being here, being in the stands, being loud, especially on third down, causing havoc and confusion for our opponent. And we need that, right? On this Sunday, we need our fans to come out and show that support. Right, we need them to be in the stands. We need them to be loud, because that helps us. That gives us our competitive advantage, and we need our fans that are been supporting us. We feel that support, that we feel the energy from our fans, that have been with us all throughout training camp, right, throughout the summer. Right, we felt the energy all around the city. And now we just need that energy, right, to transfer into the state.
Yeah, we need that. We need that energy to transfer in the stadium. You gotta bring it though. And I think this game is actually huge. And we'll get into the most relevant stuff that happened this week in the NFL. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. But I think this game is bigger than just like a week 2 matchup. And I'll just lay it out for you because I said it today, and I was getting treated by my co-host. I was getting treated by my producer. I was getting treated by some listeners as if I was being somewhat dramatic. But I think I think this is a kind of a must-win game. And let me explain. Some people take it literal when you say must win. And they automatically assume, well, you don't have to win or lose for your season to be over. And I get that. But when you're a team like the Texans, when you're in a situation like the Texans are in, and trust me, I follow this closer than anybody, there's certain wins that you have to take advantage of because they're going to be few and far between. And you can afford to lose a game to Baltimore. And I think the people who aren't, just blindly gonna defend you, they're going to buy into that. They're gonna buy in and be like, okay, it's okay. Baltimore's good. But with Indianapolis, think about this. If a week from now we're talking about a loss to Indianapolis, what are we talking about? We're talking about losing at home as a favorite to a team with a rookie quarterback that was drafted 2 spots after CJ Stroud, with a rookie coach and an owner that's an absolute nut job. And then on the eve of facing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are the favorite in the AFC South. If you win, then you're satisfying the hunger that DeMeco Ryans just talked about. You've beat the rookie quarterback. You've beat the rookie coach. You're in position to where 2-2 is not too unrealistic, especially when you think about what Pittsburgh currently is right now and where Pittsburgh is and what they look like. And then you're basically facing Jacksonville with the chance to tie for first in the division after 3 weeks. If you start out 0-2, you're looking 0-3 in the face. So I know some people will say, well, it's early and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I'm not sitting here saying it's like the end of the world, but if you're trying to avoid being one of the worst teams in the league, and you traded your first round pick, so you obviously didn't think you were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, you've got to win this game. You've got to win this game. That's how I feel about it. And yeah, is the season going to be over? No. Am I going to punt on doing these broadcasts? No, I've been doing them for a year now. And I've never taken days off on this. But given the situation that Indianapolis is in, given the situation you're in, given the fact it's at home, given the fact you have Anthony Richardson now, you have a week of tape now where DeMeco Ryans can study it. He's got the durability issues that have kind of come to the forefront. You got your rookie quarterback, the rookie coach. I think you got to win this ball game. I really, really do. So, you can minimize it and you can set yourself up because what I think people are doing is they're setting themselves up to where you don't want to be disappointed. You don't want to hit rock bottom because we've been in rock bottom for the last couple of years. And quite frankly, at the end of the BOB era, even though your ceiling was higher, you felt like that was rock bottom too. So you want to kind of put up a shield, but let's just be honest. You got to win this game. I don't give a rat's ass what anyone says. You got to win this game. DeMeco Ryans has shown 1 week in he knows what he's doing with the defense. Doesn't matter if he has his 2 safeties or not. They knew how to keep Lamar Jackson in check. So they did their thing there. You got to win this game. You go 1-1, then you got Jacksonville, and then you got Pittsburgh at home. Pittsburgh's not in a great spot. It looks like Cam Hayward's going to be out for a while. You got to win this game. Period. Can't afford to be one of the worst teams in the league. From a perception standpoint, from a progress standpoint. You decided not to wait for the quarterback. You decided not to have 2 first-round picks. You gave up a first-round pick and a second-round pick to move up and get CJM, Will Anderson. I look at it as kind of a package deal. However you want to look at it, you decided not to do that. So if you're sitting there as one of the 5 worst teams in the league and all of a sudden one of these quarterbacks is there and you say, well, damn, we could have waited and we could have also added multiple players in this situation, you can't do that. I'm sorry. You can't do that. Does that mean, like I say, fire DeMeco Ryans? Does that mean I say that the plan is gone? No. But as far as this season and tangible success, you got to win this ball game. Care what anyone says. You can sit here, try to be hardo. You can say it's too early. You can say there's no such thing as a must win unless your season's over. No. You got to win this one. You have to win this one. 100% have to win this one. There's too many, there's too many things going in your favor for that to be the case. It is the locker room. Subscribe, like, right along. Appreciate everyone for coming through. We'll get into what DeMeco had to say and all of those types of things little bit later on. But I agree with a lot of y'all. They gotta win this game. Terry Kendrick says BOB's offense was awesome. It was never top half in DVOA, but okay. George says we need a number 1 receiver. Well, that's not going to happen, sir. Unless you're a female, ma'am. I don't know. I don't think there's females named George, but whatever. Marvin Harrison has to be the pick. How's that going to happen? Did you watch Cleveland play? D-Rod says, preach. I'll try my best. Better hope Browns go 1-16. Not worried about that. My whole thing is if your draft pick is gone and Arizona's picking it, that's bad. T. Higgins, okay. I mean, I think we're getting a little bit crazy. Xavier Worthy, don't know. Might be a little bit too small. What happens if they lose? If they lose, then, I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I think your season's in jeopardy. Like, as far as, like, figuring something out. I mean, you're gonna be facing Jacksonville at 0-2. And then stuff can spiral real quick. Now, if you recover, then all of a sudden you got some momentum and you're going to face Jacksonville. So we'll see how that happens. Nick Casario says this is not a must-win game. You would say that, process over results ass. You would say that, Weasel. Quit player hating. AR-15 outplaying CJ, but we get the win. Or CJ playing AR-15 but losing, which is more of a need. I don't really. I guess you're talking about in the game, sir. Quit player hating. Just get the win. That's really it. I don't think CJ is really like a flash player. I am not the biggest AR-15 fan or AR-5, whatever you want to call him right now. I feel like you give him 1 week of getting banged up, and he got banged the hell up. His durability issues did not get enough. They did not get enough attention heading into the draft. The guy missed games for 3 different reasons at Florida, despite playing less than anyone else. You give DeMeco a week of tape with Anthony Richardson. I'm kind of intrigued by this. So we'll see how that happens. Any updates on Petrie? You just heard DeMeco. DeMeco said we're going to have those on Wednesday. So we'll figure that out. I'd like to see more Hutch. Why? I'd like to see more Dell. I mean, I thought Nico was good. I thought Robert Woods was good. What do you want to see more Hutch for? For what? For what? I want to see more Dalton Schultz. You want to see more Hutch. I want to see more Dalton Schultz. I want to see more of my $9 million tight end instead of having one more catch than CJ Stroud. I don't know what you want more Hutch for. For what? I want to see more Tank Dell, and I want to see more Dalton Schultz. So yeah, you want to see more Hutch on special teams? Yeah, I don't know about that. Luis, the clown emoji. You're a goofball. This is not a must win. Calm down. Okay, then if they lose, everything's awesome. Like, come on. You lose to a team with a rookie quarterback, with a rookie coach, and then you're facing the Jags. Okay, I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean it's not a must win? You think they're going to make the playoffs and compete if they don't? Like, come on, man, get that clown emoji stuff out of here too, man. Grow up. That clown emoji stuff, man. My 9-year-old nephews use the clown emoji. Goodness gracious, man. Use your damn words, man. Acting like a damn kid. Probably play some Candy Crush or something like that. Trust the process. Nick Casario still doing his thing. KB74 Schultz played. I thought he was the waterboard dude. He played, man. And I mean, the tight ends are kind of hard to evaluate because maybe they're having to block a little bit more. I'm not a tape watcher. Never going to pretend to be, but yeah, who knows there. How do you feel about Bobby play calling? Noah Brown was horrible. I didn't think Noah Brown was that bad. I thought Noah was okay. I thought it was weird that they ran the screen with him, and now all of a sudden he's like the target of everything. But I thought Noah was fine. My Jersey guy Noah was straight. I like Noah for sure. No timeout for the clown emoji. It's usually just a cover up for lame. Like it's lipstick on a pig. That's what clown emoji is. Clown emoji is like piggish ass like comments, and then you just say clown just to cover up your lack of substance. Dwayne says Dell was open at nearly every play. They've got a free tank and use tank a little bit more. Luke says, I don't think AR is going to be able to handle the environment with a great defense. Hopefully we have at least one of the safeties back. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll get that update from DeMeco Ryans. So the big stuff from around the league that impacts the Houston Texans as we localize it. In the division, the Jags are the only AFC South team with a W. So everybody's 0-1 except Jacksonville, and Jacksonville beat the Indianapolis Colts. And quite frankly, it was kind of a misleading score. It ended up being a 10-point game. If you watch the highlights or you watch the game, there was a play where Tank Bigsby kind of just stopped playing, and then Jacksonville ripped the ball out of his hand, or not Jacksonville, Indianapolis ripped the ball out of his hand. They went and scored the touchdown, and then it got a little bit close. Jacksonville was pretty much in control of that game, and they seem to be superior. Anthony Richardson, I want to show y'all something, and this is where, like, when you talk about tape study and you talk about like DeMeco Ryans, and I think y'all are going to find this really interesting. When you talk about DeMeco Ryans being able to look at tape of Anthony Richardson, I really want to show y'all this. This is from Next Gen Stats. Anthony Richardson was 24 of 37 for 223 yards. And if you look at this, these are the passes that he threw. So right here on the left side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passes on the left. He threw 30 passes to the right side. The interception that he threw was to the left as well. So you got to wonder. I think DeMeco Ryans is a pretty smart defensive coordinator. I got to think he's going to look at that and say that Anthony Richardson might like to lean to the right. He's not Beyonce. He's not to the left. He's to the right. And he likes to throw to the right. So you got to think DeMeco is going to try to figure something out there with Anthony Richardson. So, yeah, that is pretty wild right there. And again, I don't know what to compare it to. I know that the person that tweeted it out said, okay, that seems a little bit wild, but 30 out of 37, and he threw the he threw the interception to the left. Okay, I might want to make this guy go left a little bit. Kind of like a middle school basketball player or something like that. That's pretty damn wild. And someone says, I pray DeMeco says it. DeMeco's already seen that. Trust me. You don't become one of the better D coordinators in the league and have the stats that they have to to be able to not see that. So we'll see how that goes. But I got to think that they're going to figure something out. Other biggest takeaways from the AFC South. It is the Monday Night Football wrap. Going to do this after every Monday night game. Texans situation. Calvin Ridley, 8 receptions, 101 and a touchdown on 11 targets. Man, you got to salute Jacksonville, man. Like Jacksonville, they've probably made one of the most costly mistakes of the last 2 years, taking Travon Walker instead of Aiden Hutchinson. I think that was kind of like overthinking. But the fact that they took the low risk, high reward move, or however you want to call it, with Calvin Ridley and brought him in after that they could have easily like convinced themselves that they solidified their receiving group, that they deserve a lot of credit for that. And I think it was 660 something days or whatever since Calvin Ridley had played an NFL game. My man goes out there and has 8 catches for 101 and a touchdown, and he's making plays in the end zone. He's breaking it off. I mean, there's got to be a lot of GMs just kind of wondering, what the hell? Why did I not even think about that? Jacksonville making that move, they deserve a lot of credit, and that's going to be a tough matchup. Ryan Tannehill, 3 interceptions. Look, I don't know what in the world the Titans are going to do. Ryan Tannehill is a weird quarterback where in certain weeks he'll go through stretches where he looks like, you'll put him up there and you'll see like the numbers where, these 5 quarterbacks have these stats, and it'll be like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, and it'll be like the 5, like Joe Burrow, and then Ryan Tannehill. And then you'll see games like this. Can't figure it out, but 3 interceptions. I know that they're saying, well, maybe they want to see Malik Willis. Do they really? Like, do they really think Malik Willis has like a future? I think they think he might be able to develop into a good quarterback, but do they really like want to see Malik Willis? I think it's kind of a ride and die Tannehill type of thing, unless they just decide to tank. So the Ryan Tannehill thing, I don't look into that a lot. Other stuff that impacts the Texans, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland holds Burrow to 82 yards and the Bengals to 3 points. Texans have the Browns first rounder. They don't have their own. I don't know what to make of this. We're going to get to see them on Monday Night Football next week, I believe. It's low-hanging fruit to take like Deshaun Watson lowlights and say, oh, well, Deshaun did this and blah, blah, blah. They got a team around him, man. They did what I think many people around here when Deshaun was here wanted to happen, to where, for lack of a better term, you could make him a game manager. And as much as, it's easy in the fantasy football era to hike your leg on a quarterback like Deshaun and say, man, he didn't put up these types of stats. If Josh Allen would have done what Deshaun did tonight, then we wouldn't be talking about the Jets being 1-0. And I think Josh Allen is more of a clout chaser when it comes to like getting off to like making big football plays than Deshaun Watson is. And I think Deshaun has gotten to where he's okay with it. I don't think Deshaun is just all about himself when it comes to actually playing games and like winning football games. He might be like, there's a lot of things you can say about Deshaun, and I've said a lot of stuff about Deshaun, but I think if Deshaun was the quarterback of the Bills today, I don't think we're talking about them losing. And I do think there's some value in that with what Cleveland's defense is, what their run game's capable of, and the type of football that they're going to have to play in the division they're in and the weather and all that type of stuff. They did lose their right tackle, Jack Conklin, so we'll see what happens there. But, maybe Deshaun ends up being kind of a game manager, but sometimes that's all you need to be. Sometimes that's hard to be. And I think Josh Allen is a prime example of that. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Let's hear from Robert Woods. Robert Woods was at the podium, one of DeMeco's bigger targets last week. Let's hear what Robert Woods had to say.
I don't know what time it is.
The media.
Afternoon. Good afternoon.
You told me last week that in order to help CJ out in this game, being in that hostile environment, that you all had to be in the right place at the right time, and you were on yesterday. How much do you just think you helped him to get acclimated, get comfortable in that game?
I think played my part a little bit. Able to get some third downs for him, move the sticks, then keep his confidence high. I know he was out there running, scrambling, just trying to be an open target for him, and hopefully gain some confidence in me and be able to keep finding me.
What do you feel like needs to happen for the offense for y'all to get? I mean, I know y'all not exactly whole and it's new and all of that, but what do you feel like needs to happen for it to kind of come together and be a little smooth?
Yeah, I mean, just watching the game, it's spurts, it's up and downs. It's really just like starting off on first downs or wherever our first drives, just coming out, having good procedure, getting the huddle, getting the play call in, getting lined up correctly, and at the same.
I don't know if y'all noticed this, but this happened multiple times, and I want y'all to tell me in the comments because y'all are y'all follow the Texans as close as anyone, and that's why I got love for y'all. Be sure to like, by the way, the thing. We only got 2 likes. Hit those likes. Go back and hit the like. Appreciate TX for coming through talking about that, even though he's showing a cat vagina. You could tell Robert Woods was getting frustrated with CJ, and you could also tell that CJ was relying on Robert Woods to line up. There were multiple times, if you go rewatch the game, where CJ would talk to Woods, and Woods would be like, dude, I'm where I'm supposed to be. You're telling me where to go. I'm where I'm supposed to be. There were multiple times with that. So there was that, and I don't know if y'all noticed that or not.
Same time, still having time on the clock to be able to get a chance to look at the defense. So really, it's more so procedural and starting faster on first downs. I think that'll be key. I think that's a small adjustment that we could fix fast, and hopefully it translates to our first downs and being able to get our drives going and have longer possessions.
Is there an example that you can point to where I guess maybe like the procedural thing didn't happen correctly and it kind of snowballed?
Yeah, procedural. Here we go. Let them know, Robert.
I mean, a couple times. I mean, we just remember being in a huddle. Might be a player echoing. We're low on the clock. Or getting lined up. And not really having time to motion. It's just like little stuff.
Yeah,
where,
let them know.
Guys double checking. Is it 19? Is it 18? Which way? Left, right? It's just a little bit of everything. I really think it's just a first game, really being out there all together that long. And then I think we just have to be more crisp. It starts that practice. Like I said, it's an easy fix. Going out there should be talked about today in our meetings, and it should be fixed on Wednesdays.
Better be fixed. He knows, though.
I think he played pretty well. I think they were trying to get after him, went against a good defense, and he extended a lot of plays, a lot of drives, being able to avoid pressure when it did get through, and at the same time able to keep his eyes down the field, make some throws, give guys opportunity to make plays, and I was really impressed for his first start, first game, to be able to handle a defense like that, and they was trying to get after him, and he did pretty well.
Robert, at what point in the huddle did you notice that CJ just kind of settled down and felt his way through that game? Was it that fourth series or that 15-play drive that y'all had?
Honestly, I felt like he was he's a pretty level-headed guy. I don't think he gets too high or gets too low. I don't think he got riled up about the first game. I think it was just a football game for him, which is really good. And I felt like he was calm throughout the whole game. I think
the effing leader, by the way.
One of the third downs we were able to convert and extend the drive a little bit, march down. That might be the drive that I would say really our offense gained a lot of confidence and moved well and kind of got going. But it's just the hiccups in between that slowed us down and put us in bad position.
What are some of the things that you all can correct going into week 2 against Indianapolis?
Like I said, the procedural stuff, and other than that, just starting fast on first down, getting better yards, putting ourselves in better positions for second downs. Don't have to be in second and long, third and longs. And I think that allows us to really open up our playbook a little bit more, get our ground game going, and really just, I think, being better on first down and open up the whole playbook. And we have a lot of plays, a lot of ways to attack the defense. But when you're in 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15, you can only do so much.
I got kind of into that flow. It was like that for the series. Was there anything in particular that was really clicking that made everything kind of start to mesh?
I think.
How long are they going to talk to Robert Woods for, man? Like, I want to hear from him, but how long? What are we doing here?
Everybody on the field should be making the adjustments, reading the defense. So he's really, really prepared,
Did it
being
start
able
clicking?
to see the blitzes, get out of it, know where the ball should go, going through his progressions, and really just savvy, being able to get out the pocket and get rid of it at times.
You're another year removed from a season-ending injury.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lot of times that second year back. How do you feel after one game, and how do you feel, with the rest of the season?
Damn, what's up, Stoots?
Yeah, I feel great. Just being able to run some routes, being on the offense, we're able to spread it around, being out there, being able to get open feels good. Just being in this offense, knee feels good, body feels good. Just feel like I'm back to myself.
Double-digit targets. Been a couple of years since an offense maybe has gone to you that much. You feel pretty good about where you are in this offense?
Yeah, I feel like I just got to capitalize on those. It was one I for sure thought I caught.
Did not.
But just the other
Did
ones,
not.
just got to make those plays for
Challenge,
CJ.
man.
I know they've been really big plays if we're able to capitalize on them, extending drives, giving us opportunities. And that's one of those things where if he's able to just get the ball out and give us opportunity, we have to be a really great group and make plays for him because he's running, extending plays. And if we could capitalize and extend these drives, I think it'll turn into points.
Somebody who's playing an offense similar to this one, how would you describe the value of running back in this scheme?
Very huge. I know DP, I think it was like 11 carries, but I know just being in good situations, being in second and shorts, third and shorts, we're able to get that ground game going and really like hit the gaps, get the schemes, get them running, get them running in space, and at the same time get the safeties down to be able to open up that play action pass. But when you're in second and long, third and long, they're waiting for the pass, and then if we run a draw or anything run, they're just coming down collapsing. So it's really just not like being in bad situations. It's all about starting fast on first downs, and I think it opens up the whole playbook, the ground game, the passing game, and allows everybody to get their touches.
Aside from Bobby Slowick and I've had to CJ, when y'all have y'all's offensive leaders, who's the most vocal in the offensive leader?
Yeah, I mean it's mostly slow. CJ asks questions, and I would say, other than that, you got myself, Dalton, DP. I think everybody's really, really vocal and just asking the details to be able to execute their job, and even looking ahead if it's a certain coverage that they've seen on film. Asking that question, how would that route be ran versus this look? So I think guys are really prepared, and even asking questions for young guys to pick up answers on. And I think our room is really focused on the details. So really it's just executing them and then get them done on Sunday.
Last one, DJ. There are a few plays where like you would get motion out, going to your route, playing your snap. How much does that help you in the sense of getting open, and how much pressure does that put on the defense when you get motion out? Because sometimes people get motion over, but sometimes there's one player I remember you got motion out towards the boundary, like right at the snap, and then got to your route. How much does that put pressure on the defense? Yeah,
I mean, all those things, all those movements are unexpected. We're always trying to put pressure on the defense, whether we're going out, in motions. And it's one of those motions, like I said, not many people seen guys motion out. This allows us free access, get defenders off of us, and then kind of get us going in our route pretty fast. But it's really just get the defense guessing, mess with their eyes, expand them, create more space, and make them play disciplined football.
Right. Thank you. Thanks, Robert.
All right, thank you.
All right, there we go. It's Robert Woods. I'll tell you this. I would take what the Texans got from Robert Woods and Nico Collins every game. Now, I need to get more from Dalton Schultz, and I need to get more from Tank Dell. But that production, I would take it every time. Every time. Can't have 2 catches from Dalton Schultz. That's just that's absolutely unacceptable. Can't do that at all. Let's go to the comments before we get out of here. Appreciate y'all for coming through Late Night Locker Room. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Talking about the Texans, who, by the way, only team in the division who has a win is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll get through the best comments that we marked, and then I'm going to dip on out and get ready for the show Manana, which, by the way, John McClain going to join at 11 o'clock Central, so download that Odyssey app. I got to talk to John about everything that went on this week. Also, we'll get into the Will Anderson stuff too and what he had to say. He had some interesting things to say. TX Star, do you really think you'd have felt better if Kenyon Green started at left guard instead of Josh Jones? Josh played well. Right tackle was a mess. No, I wouldn't have. I actually think he was better than Josh Jones played better than Kenyon Green has played his entire career. And quite frankly, Shaq Mason was actually the worst offensive lineman yesterday. If you actually look at the numbers and what your eyes say, which is an issue in itself with Nick Caserio, given the fact he traded for him and gave him a contract. Tony says we need to get this O-line healthy quick. Well, it's not going to be quick. It's got to be at least 4 weeks. They're on IR. Juice Scruggs and Titus Howard are on IR. So it's not like they can, go in some oxygen chamber and then be ready to go. So I don't know what that means. Luke says, anyone know why Brevin Jordan did nothing the whole game? Because he's Brevin Jordan. I mean, would you have been more surprised if Brevin Jordan did nothing or if Brevin Jordan did something or actually showed up on the field? The hell you mean? What's he ever done? I can't even tell if he's active or not. What the hell you mean? Does anyone know why Brevin Jordan didn't do anything? Is that you could have sent that for the last 3 years after every game? Jay Deuce, I think against not the Ravens defense, we can move the ball. We'll see. Indianapolis definitely not as good as the Ravens, so we will see. Nico could have easily had over 100 yards, which is cool. Yeah, CJ missed him on the one. I think he ended up with 80. So, yeah, it was about a 20-yard throw, so you could be correct. AR going to run all over the Texans D. Hopefully CJ and Pierce can make some plays. AR ain't running over anyone. And now that tape's out on Anthony Richardson and now these actually get nicked up, I think you're going to see that come down to earth very, very quickly. I actually think that was a perfect setup, much like the Texans, and the Texans were unable to take advantage of it. But I told y'all leading up to the game, I said, Baltimore is not going to be in a groove offensively. Lamar Jackson said as much. He said, I was rusty. Texans were actually top 10 in rushing yards and passing yards allowed. Lamar Jackson said, we were rusty, etc. And they didn't take advantage of it. Anthony Richardson, I don't think he's going to run over anyone. Quite frankly, I think he's a little bit nicked up right now. I'm a little bit concerned about him. Going forward in your own zone is a savage move. Hope this doesn't cost too many games. I don't like it. At least the first 4 weeks of the season with the Texans, I don't like this aggressive mindset. A lot of people do. Jay Dew says, I wouldn't think anyone would have a problem with going forward on fourth and short tries after all the consecutive conservative play calls from Bill O'Brien. I don't know how those are connected. I don't think they're the same thing, but if you just want to be the opposite of O'Brien, just go for it every time. Okay. Will Jimmy Ward be back for the Colts? We'll find out Wednesday, most likely, or get some sort of idea on that. Tyler says he agrees. Winning this game sets a tone, especially if CJ outplays AR. Yes, I think this is a must-win game against the Colts. Tyler says topic, but what was your reaction to UT winning? I'm sure that you had to be the happiest you've been on the Longhorns in 10 years. Look, so I grew up in Austin. My dad and I took road trips to UT. Parents met at UT. Been a Texas fan my entire life. It really felt kind of weird because I didn't feel like they played very good and they beat Bama. Really just whatever. I was at all 3 national championship games, the Rose Bowl events, Michigan, USC, Section 25, Row 39, Seat 1. But yeah, it was just a dub. Nothing major for me. Kind of whatever. I thought our tackling was weak, needs some work. I don't know what you watched, sir. I thought the tackling was good. I actually thought the defense was good. You didn't have Petrie, you didn't have Jimmy Ward. I actually thought the tackling was really, really good. So I don't know what you're judging that on. They might have missed Lamar in the backfield, but I don't consider those missed tackles. I just consider that kind of pocket presence. So if you thought the tackling was weird, you're watching a different game than me, which is fine because I don't pretend to be a scout. Xavier Hutchinson, this is Rolo Hendricks. Xavier Hutchinson needs more rotation at Z. He has potential. I like X, but I don't know that Xavier Hutchinson, like freeing him is like the key. I think they need to get Dalton Schultz more involved. They need to get Tank Dell more involved. I don't think Xavier Hutchinson is like one of those things that I think they need to figure out. Luke says, I think the O-line didn't play as poorly. People wouldn't be this upset about our receivers. Nico would have went for 100 and Woods was consistently getting open. Only issue I have is not utilizing Dell. I think if the O-line didn't play as poorly, people wouldn't be as upset with our receivers. Sure. I don't know, but yeah, that's the wide receiver screen type of thing. Dalton Reisner coming to town. Don't know. I would love it. I saw that he's getting on a plane and he's like hyping stuff up. At this point, I would take it, but I don't know. Avels, what do I think about the punter? I think he sucks. I think he's annoying. I don't like looking at him. I don't like the fact that he spends more time on his uniform than Kim Kardashian does getting out. And I hope that one of these 2 punters that they work out replaces him. I can't stand him. That's just where I'm at with the punter. Maybe I was spoiled by Cam Johnston, but yeah, I went off on this punter a little bit too much. I don't really like the towel in the back and stuff, the red towel and all that, the all white shoes. Yeah, get out of here. I don't need that punter. So, not impressed by him. Let's get Shane Leckler out of retirement. Shane Leckler is not. I don't even know if Shane. Shane's a friend of the show, and I like talking smack, but I don't know that Shane could even he would probably disagree. Shane might be able to come out with a beer belly and from hunt. Let's put it this way. It's hunting season. Shane ain't going nowhere right now in fishing. So we ain't going to get that. But yeah, that punter was trash to me. I was not a big fan of that. Appreciate everyone for coming through. It is a locker room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Please go back and like. It is the pulse of the Texans. No matter what happens, though, when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether they lose to Indianapolis or not. And by the way, if you haven't heard me already say, it is a must-win game. You have to win this in order to build on the momentum and give the fans hope, especially in front of a home crowd. But if they don't, you already know this because we've been doing this for a year now. We're all in this together. Tune in to In the Loop tomorrow, 10 a.m. And we're all in this together. Appreciate you.
On YouTube, we got taste of days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We #1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.